Oh, there you go. Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another review with Life for Justice for General Hospital and Beyond the Gates, July 14, 2025. Sorry I'm late, y'all. Hold on. Let me fix this right fast. What did y'all think of yesterday's episode of the two shows? I said, let me combine these because I also got to do videos on the spoilers because I'm late on that as well. But yeah, I was like, look, I don't know which one to start with. I'm gonna just give a little, what they call it, a summary of both of them. So on General Hospital, Sonny and Jason got Marco. They got Marco. I said it's about to go down. It's about to go down. Sonny's supposed to be telling Silwell on today's new episode that he got Marco, that Silwell got Marco into this. He has to get him out. And I was like, so did they do this because, this was always the plan? Because I know they was talking about it. They was talking about target Marco prior to this. But I thought after the conversation with Carly, they had decided, not to do it. But apparently not. Or did this result because of the Daisy situation? Because they think that Sewell's the one that got Daisy. I wonder if they about to find out that Willow's the one responsible. Because so far, Sasha's still in town. I think they said that after her doctor's appointment is when Jason's supposed to escort Sasha wherever she need to go. I said if Willow don't grab the baby before then, if she don't grab the baby before then. But yeah, and on Beyond the Gates, Haley, I said Haley is the perfect example of how folks will lie in your face not knowing the truth, or at least part of it. She was steady talking about the baby this, the baby that, and talking about her cravings and stuff. And Ashley just sitting up there listening to her. And I said, Ashley gonna let it slip. She gonna let it slip. She gonna end up letting it slip that she know that she didn't get no ultrasound. She gonna end up letting it slip. She was already talking to Jacob. She didn't actually say anything. She was just saying how, why do people lie and she know the truth. Just hinting that she know the truth, but she never said Haley's name. But yeah, so we're gonna start with General Hospital first since they aired that first. So basically, let me see. Silver and Lucy, they was about to have Natalia funeral. I said, dog, Sonny, y'all couldn't wait till he attended his mama funeral. Y'all had to get him now. I said, y'all couldn't wait till the man go to his mama funeral. But yeah, they showed Lucy and Sidwell, and Lucy was just supporting Sidwell. I was like, oh, it's kind of empty, ain't it? I was expecting Blaze to show up. Do y'all think she gonna show up? Hold on. I was like, do y'all think she gonna show up? Do y'all think Max and them gonna show up as well? I know they said they supposed to be some surprises at Natalia funeral or whatever, but I'm assuming they talk about Sonny showing up. But so far it's just been Sonny, Sidwell, and Lucy. Hold on. But yeah, Lucy was just supporting Sidwell. And he kept going on and on about, she was talking about what she read in the Aurora little article or whatever, and how she don't think that Sonny did it, and we don't really know what happened. And he started talking about, so yeah, we can't rule nothing out, and just talking about his son. I said, you don't care about your son. I said, that's exactly why before Natalia did what she did, she stopped by there to tell you to keep y'all son up out of there. And where you got him? Up in it. But once again, I said, Sonny, you don't got his son. That's his only, as far as we know, that's his only relative or his only child, right? I was like, you got too many folks to choose from. And your guards ain't no good anyway. So you risking a lot. You definitely risking a lot. Trying to send a message. That's what he said. He was like, he's trying to send a message to him, basically not to cross him. But you got all these people. All they got to do is take their pick. He may not have been the one to grab Daisy that time, but that don't mean he ain't going to do it this time. Yeah, this is for yesterday episode. This for yesterday episode because I was late getting in, so I didn't get a chance to do it. But yeah, I was like, you got way too many relatives that want to sit up here and grab folks. But I'm ready to see how it all plays out. But he's supposed to be telling him on today's episode, you got Marco into this, get him out. And I was like, I don't think Silver just gonna let this fly. I don't think he gonna let it go. Now I think he care about his son, but I don't think he that much of a father. If you want to put him in danger, knowing doggone well you don't know what you're talking about, because you want to go after Sonny, because you want his territory, so you can do whatever you're trying to do. Because we still don't know what he's trying to do. So far, all we know is that he's involved with the Dalton dude. And I'm thinking that what I said before about the whole deception thing is the reason why he wanted to get in there, besides Sonny, besides the obvious or whatever. But yeah, I was like, yeah, it might be that product, y'all. It might be whatever he putting up in that product. But they waiting on Dalton to come up with something, his research or something like that. And they say it's a bigger boss. So who gonna be the bigger boss? I want to know who the bigger boss is, because it ain't Sidwell. He revealed that yesterday. What else? Let's see. I already said Lucy was supporting Sidwell. Alexis ends up showing up. She ends up showing her support for him, but then she ends up saying how Sonny's not the one who murdered Natalia. And just trying to convince him. He was like, "You don't know, is that why you here? You don't know if he did it or not." And I said, "You don't either. You don't either." I mean, apparently the way they talking, it kind of do seem like they was planning on getting rid of Natalia once she got over there, if she got over there in the first place. But yeah, that's what they was talking about. She mentioned, bearing a child and just talking to him, trying to get him to see things. I wish they had shown them actually grabbing Marco, but they didn't, because I want to know how he got him. How did Jason get him? Like, I understand, but at the same time, they just showed him. They showed him trying to get out and stuff, and telling them to let him out, whoever you are. Then next thing you know, they show Jason waking up, not waking up, Lord, walking up. Maybe they had his guards, Sunny guards or something. I was like, how did they get dude? How did they get him? Hold on. Then Lucas had Carly. I didn't write that part down. Lucas had Carly come open the door, and he wasn't in there. And he's supposed to be telling Jason on today's episode that if anything happens to him, the blood gonna be on his hands. And I was like, well, they got plenty of blood on their hands. I don't think they care, including their relatives. I was like, I don't think, like, why they be saying that? Like, I get why they say it, but at the same time, it's like, you don't know what these folks do. They don't care. They do not care. Hold on. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, Jason did try to tell Sonny, he just saved Christina or whatever, and he was like, he got to send a message. He got to let it be known to everybody, not just see, well, if you go after his kids or whatever, it's going to be, what to pay. But I was like, once again, you got way too many people. They just, grab Carly, Daisy, Gio, Michael, get everybody at this point. Make it interesting. Just grab everybody. Excuse me. But do y'all think this storyline is actually gonna be something worth, continuing to view? Cause I feel like they always introduce storylines like this, and then they just let it go downhill. I was like, this is a perfect opportunity. You got Marco, let him grab somebody, grab 2 people, 3, in fact, something. But yeah, I wonder what he want anyway. He's like, get him out of there. So what you want him to do? Back up, leave town or something? Cause I'm wondering, like, what do you want? What you expect him to do? Hold on. Michael, Sonny, and Carly. He was just telling them that Sasha and Daisy finna leave town. He finna lose his daughter. They thought he was talking about Amelia. They was like, no, talking about Daisy. So Carly, the whole time, despite what he said about Sasha or whatever, she was like, no, you need to fight. And I agree though. But at the same time, I understand why Sasha wanna leave town. And they were just Carly Bailey was trying to tell him he has options, he has choices, he has a right or whatever. I said, this how y'all got in this situation with Willow. Well, partially. Drew is the one at fault too. Hold on. But yeah, so he ends up saying how the baby went missing, then they put the baby back or whatever, and Sonny immediately thought that was because of him. He immediately thought it was because of him. And I was like, nah, not this time, it's Willow. I was like, come on now. Unless she confess, how is they gonna find out that it was Willow? That's what I'm trying to see. Is she gonna try to take the baby again at the hospital? Cause they supposed to, after the hospital visit, they supposed to be going wherever they going. Cause I don't think they never said where they was going. Just that Jason's supposed to be the one to take Sasha. But yeah, I was like, hopefully not, because I'm interested to see what happens between Sasha and Michael down the line. So hopefully she don't leave town. But once again, even if she do leave town, she'll be back next week. She'll be back next week, either way it go. But they say Willow is a nut job. She is. Sick of Willow blaming her. And why they keep letting Drew, like, how much longer? Does anybody know? How much longer do we have to deal with this Drew and Willow storyline? It's been going on too long now. I'm going to say this one more time. Don't give it to this judge was paid off. It was still the right decision. And I think Drew's supposed to be on today's episode going to Carly at Carly's house. They said it's supposed to be threatening Carly and Michael or whatever. And I said, now they want to talk about compromise and all that. And they don't say that plenty of times about compromising. You the whole reason in the first place. Hold on. But yeah, and I was, what was the last thing Michael said? Michael tells Sonny and Carly someone is targeting Daisy. He assumes that it's because of him. I think the last thing he was saying how he support her. He understands she already been through too much and stuff like that. Isaiah and Willow. What was they talking about? Willow was saying how she doesn't think Lucas would let her work with him, and he came over there. They kind of like tossed the I don't know what it was. Was it the clipboard? He tossed something, and Isaiah ended up telling them they can't work like that or whatever. They have to figure this out. And I agree, because when you're dealing with patients and stuff, you gotta put all that to the side. Hold on. You definitely have to put all that to the side. So they eventually ends up agreeing that they not gonna let what's going on between them affect their job. But I could have sworn, like, wasn't Lucas kind of like being supportive, not supportive, but he wasn't like the way Carly and them is with her, was he? I don't think so. I can't remember the last scene with them though. But yeah, who else? Brandon, Vaughn, Josh. They was just talking about the fact Vaughn says that Anna's onto them, and she is. She ends up getting a background check on him, and it was squeaky clean. And she trying to tell Felicia, something's up. She knows that Vaughn is a spy. She don't figure it out. Brandon ends up saying how he wants Josh and Vaughn to become the most convincing couple. I was like, it's too little, too late. Too little, too late. And onto y'all, and I'm ready for them to connect the dots. I'm ready because if she figured out Vaughn a spy, it shouldn't take her long to figure out that Josh is a spy now too. Yeah, it shouldn't take her that longer. But yeah, she tried to tell Felicia. I'm wondering if Felicia gonna end up, following them around or anything to figure out what's going on. I'm sure if they just look closer, they'll see that Vaughn always over there with Brendan at, and so is Josh. Hold on. Who else we got? Anna and Felicia. They already said how she getting a background check on him. She thinks that he's a spy. And something else. What did she say? She said something else. I don't know if I wrote it down or not. Sasha and Danny. That wasn't Danny, was it? Was it Rocco? Well, I write down Danny. I think that was Rocco, wasn't it? I think that was Rocco, because Rocco kept asking, because she was talking to Daisy and stuff, and he kept asking her questions about being a mama. Did you talk to your baby when you was pregnant and stuff like that? I don't know why I wrote down Danny. I don't know why I wrote that down. But yeah, he kept talking to her about what it's like, and he just want to know about Britt. They showed this week on yesterday's promo, Jason's supposed to be at the airport, and he's supposed to get up, and he's supposed to see somebody. And I was like, is that going to be Britt? Because I know that Rocco reached out to Obert. Maybe that's why he there. Do y'all think he at the airport because of Obert, or do y'all think he at the airport because of the whole Natalia situation or something else? But yeah, his face said he's shocked. But we'll see. I think that's all Sasha and Rocco was talking about. Dalton ends up coming, and he was asking for towels, and he was already irritated. I'm assuming it's about his research or something. But he was irritated, and he was mad because they didn't get the towel. Then they just stood up there talking and stuff. He's like, where's the towels? He got mad about that. Then the dog, what's the dog name? Outback. The dog that Emma put right there, she knows she doing. So she placed the dog right there, and he got mad about that. He was like, he about to have them fired. They finna lose their jobs and everything else. And I was like, well, I don't think they gonna go nowhere, seeing as they connected to Carly, but at the same time, I don't know. Emma ends up showing up, and that's when she was explaining that that's her dog, and she want to make it up to him. I said, she playing a dangerous game. She definitely playing a dangerous game. Oh, that's what Anna said. She said that Emma and Dawson connected because they was at the same school, and she ended up, having to leave, and she don't believe what she said about why she got kicked out. I said, I didn't. At first, now, I was thinking they had something going on. To be honest, at first, I was thinking they had something going on, but so far, it don't seem like it. Let's see. What else? Lula and Jason, she ends up telling him how she doesn't want him talking to Rocco about Britt ever again. So she ends up explaining why. And he told her, if I have to accept your version of Britt, then you have to accept mine. And that's what Rocco want. He want to know the truth. And they both had shared their point of view about why they feel the way they feel and everything. And they had a nice little conversation, but it's too little too late. And she ends up telling him how she knows that, it's over and done with. Rocco already suspicious. He already curious or whatever. She don't know about the email yet, but she going to be highly upset. She'll be highly upset, but we'll see how that turns out. Alexis. What? Alexis went to Lulu because she wants to find out who wrote the article about Sonny. And I was like, I'm not connecting the dots. Now, I know what she said about Christina, but maybe she don't want her to backtrack or something. I don't know. Because I was like, why? I don't understand. Because she started talking about some, do it for your mother too, because, that affect her because she the mayor and all that. And I was like, I still don't get why. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but let's see who else. I said, still acting like a concerned father. Lucy doesn't believe Sonny did it. Brendan tells Vaughn and Josh they had to be a couple. Dalton want Rocco and Danny to lose their jobs. Let's see. Who else we didn't talk about? Dalton and Emma already said how she said she was going to make it up to him. Anna think Vaughn a spy. Emma still at it with Dalton. Alexis want Lulu to find out who wrote that article. She was like, she know Curtis pretty well, so she know that, that's not like him. That's not like Aurora. I said, why you won't just? She could have easily y'all. And she mentioned how they friends. I'm still on this. She mentioned how they was friends or whatever. But then you could have went to your friend and ex. Maybe because she knew he wasn't gonna tell her the truth or something. I don't know. Um, Brennan ends up telling Joss and Vaughn how he thinks that somebody been passing messages along from Dalton to his employer. So they want to figure out, who's the messenger. So then they show Sewell. Sewell ends up telling Dalton there will be hell to pay because his research taking too long, and the boss, whoever the big boss is, I don't know if he said he gonna be in town. He said something about him. He gonna want answers, and if not, that's when it's gonna be, what to pay or whatever. And I was like, so do y'all think we gonna see who the big boss is or what? It's gonna be a Cassadine. Nah. I said it's gonna be a Cassadine. Y'all know it's either a Cassadine or a Quartermain or somebody. Hold on. Or one of them crazy people like Faison or somebody. Wasn't his name Faison? I don't know. Or I know it was Jerry Jakes, it was Faison. What was the other dude name? The older dude. I think Johnny and them dad. Didn't he die? Or what was the other Alcazar? I don't know, y'all. I can't remember. It's been so long. But let's see. Lucas was worried about Marco. He already went to Carly and said that's when they went into the hotel room when he was not there. And once again, I said, "Dawg, son, you ain't gonna let the man attend his mama's funeral?" I said, "Oh my goodness." It's revealed that Jason and them got Marco, and he telling them let him out. They show Sonny at the end of the episode telling Sewell that Marco's not coming. And I said, ooh, Sonny, that's what I'm talking about. About doggone time. About doggone time. You let these folks know what it is, but you just messed up. Because he could be on the phone right now and have somebody grab these kids. But we'll see. Now, that was it for General Hospital, y'all. Next, we got Beyond the Gates. So with Beyond the Gates, hold on. We'll Beyond the Gates, like I said Haley, the perfect example of how folks would lie in your face not knowing you know the truth. She was there to talk about the baby this, the baby that, talk about her cravings and little baby Hamilton or whatever she called that baby, alleged baby. And Ashley just sitting up there, she just listening to her, and she want to say something so bad. She almost did. That's why I was like, she gonna slip up and tell what she know. She gonna talk too much. And I said, by the time they find out that she faking, if she faking, but it look like she faking, she gonna be pregnant with somebody else's baby or something. We'll see. What else? Martin ends up hitting Kendall. He wasn't imagining that, y'all. He actually hit dude. He said the little brown skins. I was like, what the world going on around here? And then Smitty gonna tell Jacob he need to figure out why would Martin hit Kenneth in front of their daughter. And I said, despite the obvious that a grown man ain't got no business that close or involved with nobody's child, what you talking about? I know everybody don't believe in violence and stuff, but at the same time, you see a grown man that close, especially somebody you got history with, near your daughter, what you mean you need to figure it out? You know why. At least that. I mean, you don't know everything because Martin's still lying, but at the same time, I would assume anybody would react the same way. But then again, I don't know. What else? Bill. I was like, Bill kind of got like emotional. I was like, Bill kind of seemed like he got some resentment towards the Duprees or something, or at least towards Vernon. He was talking about how Vernon basically think he above the law or he better than people and stuff like that, but he the one come to him every time. He was saying how he keep their secrets and he do their dirty work or whatever, but they look down on him, and he was kind of tearing up. And I was like, wait a minute, Bill. I said, then he was talking about how Vernon forced him to, do the whole situation about Kenneth and stuff. I said, true that, because he said he didn't want no parts, and he came to him anyways. And I was like, yeah, that may have been partially the reason why him and Danny started having problems, but I could be wrong. But yeah, he definitely got some resentment because he kept talking about it. That ain't the first time he done said something like that. And I was like, yeah, he felt like he had to measure up to them or whatever. Not to make excuses for his trifling tail, but at the same time, yeah. Haley, I said Haley always updating Bill about the baby, but not actually showing him the baby. Now, the only time we seen the ultrasound, remember, because Bill was in the hospital or whatever. I don't know if that was after she seen Danny steady showing up or what, but yeah, y'all remember that episode? But yeah, I said he should be questioning why she showed the ultrasound then, but not again, because she told him that they supposed to be emailing the information. Where it at? Then he gonna sit up there and tell Danny somebody, yeah, I seen the baby. You ain't seen Dilly freaking Scott? Hold on. We already talked about, I was about to talk about Smitty, but I already said that part about how he's trying to figure out why he punched somebody in front of their daughter Would have known me with Willow was when she said Wild and Millie were happy living with Drew. She in La La Land. Willow in La La Land. She definitely in La La Land. I was like, they need to go on. Come on now, speed this storyline up. I'm ready to see the mob war. I'm ready to see the mob war. If there actually is one. But yeah, like I said, I wrote down the first thing I said about Beyond the Gates. I said Haley always updating Bill about their child, but never actually showing it. Martin ends up hitting Kenneth, and Samantha felt some type of way. She said something about she never felt more alone. And I was like, girl, you was in danger. You worried about the wrong thing. You was in danger, didn't even know it. He basically sit up there. He didn't say he was going to do nothing to her, but at the same time, you kind of get that vibe. They did all that talk about, knowing this and that, but then again, they weren't paying no attention. But at the same time, she was right when she told her dad. She told Martin, she was like, you not telling me, doesn't that put her, in danger too? You not telling her what to look for. I mean, obviously you gotta look at everything nowadays. You gotta be careful. Hold on. You gotta be careful and pay attention to everything, because you never know who's what or what they up to. But yeah, what she said about letting her know something, show a picture. This is the guy. Well, now she know who the guy is, but Smitty's the only one that don't know. I wonder if he gonna target him next, because he already went after Terrell. He already went after Samantha, so I wonder if he gonna target Smitty next, because Smitty don't know what he look like. Because I think Jacob said something about he gonna talk to Terrell and Samantha about what the guy looks like. So we'll see. But yeah, they got a point, and he still didn't tell nothing. He left out. Smitty told him on yesterday's episode, if I was one to give an ultimatum, I say, if you walk out that door, don't bother coming back. And he walked out the door anyway. I said, you think, what they say, you think fat meat greasy? Whatever that means. I never figured out what that means, y'all. Hold on. But yeah, I was like, what the word going on? He walked out. I was expecting him to actually tell. Like, I get it, but at the same time, this is a different thing. Your kids and your husband is in danger. They in danger. What you got going on? But yeah, so instead, might as well get Martin out the way. After he walked out on Smitty, he went over to Bill's. Wasn't it the first place he went? He went over to Bill's, and he was saying how he approached Samantha. He was like, what, or whatever. And he was like, he got a plan. He gonna handle it. He's like you did last time. I said, ooh, he got a point. But at the same time, you the one got in this situation. Now, I don't know what happened, but they said this week we supposed to find out, y'all, finally. But yeah, and Bill was like, he had a plan. He was like, no, I'm gonna handle this myself. He was like, he wondered what it'd be like if, he was dead. And I was like, well, they tried that, so you need a new plan. They tried that and failed. Randy, where he at? Where he at? Don't sit up here. I told y'all he wasn't gonna do nothing. I was like, he told my son if he was dead. I said, is that his plan? Cause they don't try it and fail. It's like the price. Then Vernon talking about some, he told Bill, everybody got a price. I was like, y'all ain't listening, paying attention. Obviously, he don't just want the money, especially with them trying to murder folks and stuff. But yeah, he talking about something. Everybody got their price. I'm gonna go talk to my accountant. I said, okay, and he gonna clean you out, and then still stick around. But yeah, what else? Let's see. Vernon asked Bill. Oh, Vernon walked in. He ends up asking Bill who he thinks he is, summoning him. That's when Haley ends up leaving. I be expecting her to stick around and eavesdrop, but she didn't. She actually left. So that's when he ends up saying how Kenneth approached Terrell. He's like, what, or whatever. So then they start talking about it. Bill told Vernon one of Joey men didn't do the job. I said, Randy. And that Kenneth's still in town. That was before he found out about Samantha. So that's when he started talking about, so, everybody got their price or whatever. And I said, dude, y'all not paying attention. That's when they started having a conversation how, Vernon felt some type of way because Bill didn't do the job or he failed and just talking crazy. I said, I understand. I don't want to defend Bill, but at the same time, you did go to him. You did now. But Bill was saying how he didn't even want to be involved, but Vernon didn't give him a choice and stuff like that. That's when he left and said he was gonna go contact his accountant or whatever. We're gonna get to. We should do Chelsea and them last, because I told y'all that girl was crazy. I told y'all that she was crazy. I think we're gonna do her last. Hold on. Look, I gotta say this though before I forget. What was that? Did she have her hair clip or something? She gonna put it on the table and stuff. And I said, get that girl back her hair clip. I said, what's that, a hair clip? What's the thing called? I think it's a hair clip. I don't know. Either way, girl, I was like, girl, get a girl her stuff back. What the word going on? I said, yeah, she crazy. Then they gonna sit back down. I thought they was on their way out to her house, to Chelsea house. Why would you sit back down when the crazy lady is watching y'all? Done came back over. If I'm not mistaken, I think she came over and that's when she gave the hair clip. Or she might have did it beforehand. I don't know. Either way it goes, she crazy. You could tell. Then Chelsea talking about she harmless. I said, people always said that after the fact. She done showed you too many red flags. She following you. She done got your hair clipped and stuff. Hold on. But yeah, let's see where we stop at. Vernon, Smitty and Samantha was talking. And at first I thought he was gonna actually let her stay right there so they could talk about everything. But no, she ended up leaving too. But at first they were just talking, and she was saying how she didn't think when Kenneth approached her or whatever he needed help, or he acted like he needed help and all that other stuff. So they started talking about stranger danger, and she always knew that, but you know she didn't know what to look for and stuff, which is true. It's definitely true. Ashley was listening to Haley talk about the baby and cravings, and she was looking and stuff like that. She ends up coming over, and they was just talking about the friendship they used to have and all this other stuff. And Ashley felt some type of way because they was all so close, but she chose Bill over them. She told my son, it just happened or whatever. People always say that. So Ashley ends up talking about some, you planning this pregnancy, then y'all say, not too much, girl, not too much. If she did desperate, she'll probably do something to you. We don't know yet. We don't know. But yeah, I was like, don't slip up and tell it. I said, you're supposed to figure everything out. But yeah, she was like, you planning this pregnancy, didn't you? It's like she was putting it together the pieces the entire time. She put together that it was about money as well. But I think that was before Haley came to sit down, though. I think it was during the conversation with Jacob. I don't even think I wrote that down. Did I write that down, Jacob and Ashley? Nope, I didn't. They were just talking about Derek, and she was saying how he chose... excuse me. She was saying how, you know, couples break up and people have to choose, and basically he chose Derek. So they sat down, they started talking about that. She revealed that Derek was on a date with Shanice and she was on a date with Andre. I thought he was going to be more upset, to be honest, because, you know, he called it. He called it. But I wonder how Naomi's going to feel, because I don't think she know yet. I don't think she know yet, because she asked her, and I don't know. I don't think she said anything. I think she denied it. But yeah, that's when she started asking him, you know, about people lying and stuff like that. But she never said Haley. She never said Haley. Let's see. He ends up having to leave because he got a call from Smitty. Jacob ends up telling Smitty not to make decisions about his marriage while he upset, because he said he gave him an ultimatum and he left either way it go. Martin said he in charge now, but Bill was trying to tell him he had a plan. I said, yeah. I said, this is going to get worse before it get better. But on the bright side of things, we should know everything about what's going on and how everything actually happened, because people been taking guesses. Y'all been seeing that. If y'all on Facebook, they don't say some what they said. First they said in regards to Eva and Kat supposed to be twins, and I wouldn't be shocked if they went with that storyline. But they supposed to be twins. They said that Nicole wasn't actually Kat mama, she Eva mama. What else? It was just a bunch of stuff. It was something else I wanted to tell you about. But either way it go, they be making theories on Facebook, y'all. Let's see. What else? Jacob. We already talked about Jacob. Martin said he loved to see Kenneth dead. I think the last thing is going to be the crazy girl. Wait. Smitty will want to figure out why Martin punched the guy in front of their daughter. We talked about that. Bill lets Vernon know about Kenneth and Samantha. And they end up talking, saying how they need to make a plan before time runs out, because they know they know Martin finna do something stupid. This is something violent or whatever. That's partially what got him in the situation to begin with, his temper. It's his temper. But yeah, and the last thing, Allison, Chelsea, and Madison. So they end up talking to her. Chelsea was asking, was she following her? She told me, no, I can't just come here because, you know, she like whatever she said. She like the menu, the food, whatever the girl said. Either way it goes, a lot. So just playing it off and stuff. So they sat down, and I'm like, what the world are you sitting down for? I think she started mentioning, you know, how she misses Chelsea, and mentioning how they used to do what they used to do and all this other extra stuff. Just doing too much. And I feel like Chelsea don't be stopping it before. She don't stop it fast enough for me. Like, you don't get nobody no chance to disrespect nobody. And she just sitting up there letting her talk, talking about some she harmless. The girl's crazy. She crazy. What the word going on? But yeah, she was watching them and stuff. I'm like, no, somebody watching me. I got to get up out of here or something. She watching them. She started talking about how she want her bag. And she just saying stuff. And Chelsea's like, she's lying. That never happened. And they still just sitting there tail there. And Madison trying to tell her, you know, something's off, something's wrong or whatever. They said that she gonna be having, you know, regrets and second thoughts about being with Chelsea. I would too. She ain't taking you seriously, and she entertaining her a little too long for me. But yeah, the girl, I want to say it was a hair clip. She came, said she loved it or something, and Chelsea tried to grab it back, and she like, no, basically she's trying to keep it as a souvenir. I like, what the word, girl? What's wrong with you? Sounds like, get a girl her hair clip back. Tell me you want to keep it and remember the times they shared. And I said, yeah, I don't think her husband was the problem. Now, I might be wrong. She said her husband was crazy or abusive, something she said. Now, it could have actually happened. I don't know if they're gonna actually tell us if it actually happened or not. We'll see. But either way it goes, I was like, I called it. I knew once she popped up or whatever and she wasn't listening, I was like, she kind of seemed like she gonna be crazy. But yeah, I said, this probably ain't gonna be the last thing that she do. What was the last thing this girl said to her? Let me see. I don't know if it was about the hair clip or whatever, but I think she brought his hair clip, then took it back. And Chelsea said that Allison is harmless. I ain't need to spell harmless right unless I can't just understand my handwriting. Yep, I combined the letters together, y'all. But yeah, I think the last thing she took the hair clip, she went back over there and sit down, and she was just watching this stuff. And I was like, yeah, you in danger, girl. You in danger. But yeah, I think that's it, y'all. What time is it? 10:49. It's 10:49, so ain't time for the bottom beautiful yet. But yeah, that's it. That's all. Let me know your thoughts on these episodes down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, this is how girl rest of the day. Be